It's day 14 of NoFap, my biggest streak yet. I am ecstatic. I am the highest I've ever been off life because I've hit this day mark. So because I've had a really good day today, I decided to go on Instagram. Now I've unfollowed all the models that I would otherwise get urges from back in the day. So I wasn't worried about that. However, one popped up on my feed because I'd always consumed that content. It was the first time I was exposed to sexually explicit content in 14 days. Now I had no idea how to counter urges at this point, so I try and get down and do push-ups. I do about, I think 30, 40, 50 push-ups. The urge goes away for like 3 minutes because that rush of dopamine from the push-ups, but then it comes back again. I go down and do push-ups again. I feel good about myself, but then it comes back. It would not go away. Whatever I tried doing, it got too strong and I gave in, just like that. So I go on the hub, I type up my favorite video that my mind has been begging me to watch for days at this point, and especially in the last half an hour, and I do it. I bust in literally 3 minutes because I was that excited, and just like that, 14 days of semen that has been saved has just been released. And usually I'd get very guilty after I relapsed, and I did feel guilty, but I was also very proud of myself for making it to day 14, because that confirmed to me that I could get past day 4, which was my biggest barrier, and I could go a long time on NoFap. So I told myself, it's not a relapse if I learn something from it. So I learned something from that. I completely deleted Instagram, so I would not get urges from social media anymore. So I go my first 3 days on NoFap. I don't really get any urges then because I'm super focused. I'm not even thinking about it. Then I get to day 4 and my mind has kind of, it's been wired to get urges on day 4 at this point. So I was expecting an urge on day 4, but I was strong enough to counter it. Day 5, day 6, day 7 were really good. Then I got to day 8 and I got a big urge again. I got one like day 14. Day 8, I remember I was journaling at night. I had a really good day. And because I was sitting in silence, my favorite porn video jumped in my head. I sat there for a couple of minutes just saying, bro, it's gonna feel so good. Like, it felt so good on that day 14, just do it again. We can always start tomorrow, it's all good. But I didn't give in because I made myself the promise that I would never watch porn again. And I told myself that was the truth, but it still wouldn't go away. No matter how many times I told myself that, I was never gonna watch porn again, it wouldn't go away. The urge would not go away. What did I do? As soon as I relapsed on day 14, I got into meditation. I was still meditating for 5 minutes a day, but I upped it to 10 minutes a day. And I really focused on the quality of my meditation. I wasn't getting angry at myself if, I thought of something. I was just simply observing my mind. I wasn't meditating the right way before I kept relapsing on NoFap. I would think of a thought and then think about that thought and then get angry at myself for thinking about that thought. But meditating right is for another video. But I'm going to teach you in a minute because it's the key to countering urges. So I sit there. I allow myself to sit in silence. I was always so fearful of sitting in silence. And that's why I hated the silence, because I'd always relapse on NoFap, because porn is one of the biggest dopamine hits you can get on this earth. The brain wants dopamine instantly. It doesn't want to wait for it. So I sit at my desk in this chair I'm sitting in right now, on my desk right here. I am literally just sitting here. I remember this day because I was journaling it. It is the most present I'd ever been in my life. I'm feeling the urge. How does it make me feel? My dick is hard. I'm hard as a rock, bro. I'm 8 days on NoFap. My testosterone is pretty fucking high at this point. I don't know if you're like me, but when I used to get NoFap urges, my bowels used to move really quick. I needed to shit, but I was just observing it all. I would start to sweat. I would get really emotional when I got an urge. I was sitting there just so happy that I was getting an urge. It felt so good. It felt like God had given me a burst of energy, just gifted it to me. And I breathed through it and I had the best sleep of my life. And ever since then, I use that technique every single time. And I haven't watched porn in over 3 years. Still counting. Well, I don't really count at this point because NoFap, I'm not even on NoFap anymore. NoFap isn't even a thing. Porn is not a thing for me. Yeah, that's not me to brag, but bro, I'm just giving you the most valuable advice that I've implemented into my life. I'm gonna run through it with you right now. Disclaimer though, this is not going to work if your lifestyle is the exact same as it was when you were addicted to watching porn. It is not going to work. You have to successfully transmute your energy that you are getting from not busting, because you release a lot of energy when you bust. If you are not transmuting that energy by setting a goal and working towards that goal, whatever it may be, you are not going to succeed. Of course, there's a chance you're going to succeed. Your brain controls your hand touches your dick. At the end of the day, it all comes down to not fucking touching your dick. For 99.9% of people, that's not gonna work. So let's get straight to it. You've got your urge, what do you do? First of all, you have to realize that you have an urge, right? The most important step of this process is realizing you have an urge. What are my choices with this urge? I can either go to my bed, open Pornhub, and bust a nut. That's one choice. What's another choice? I knock out some push-ups right now. I exert that energy. That's a good choice. Step number 3, I just sit here and observe. If I feel like knocking down push-ups or doing something to distract myself, I will. But for me, that's not sustainable. It doesn't work. I want you to observe how the urge is making you feel. How does it affect your body? How does it affect your mind? What changes in your body? For me, it was the heart rate. It was the dick getting hard. It was my bowels moving fast. It was me sweating. Second thing, I want you to shift your perspective on this urge. It is not a bad thing. It is simply a gift from God. And once you are fully aware, you are here right now. You have no thoughts. You're just here. You say this very firmly to yourself, very firmly, and put emotion into it. Brother, we don't do this shit anymore. Or if you want to put it in a better way, brother, we don't do this shit. Because it puts you as like the person who doesn't watch porn, not the person who used to watch porn who's trying to quit porn. You are not the person who watches porn anymore. It is completely cut out of your life. You are the boss of your mind. You are the boss of the urge. You are not the urge. You are simply the awareness behind the urge. It is a gift from God. Shift your whole perspective. Your mind identifies this urge as an urge to bust a nut because that's what you've been doing for so long. It is not that. Your mind wants dopamine. And what's the best way you can go out there and get some dopamine? Do something productive. Energy cannot be destroyed nor created, only transferred. Become so observant it's not funny, and I can guarantee you, bro, you won't relapse again, as long as you have a strong reason to quit. With that said, if you want the complete formula that took me from 0 to 1,000+ days on NoFap, check out the free training I have for you down below. Subscribe if you're new, because I'm helping you quit this addiction and change your whole entire life, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.